Okay, we're rolling through to lesson 8. This is quite a lesson here. We got a lot of work to do here, and let's get after it here. The statistical unit is all new stuff to you, I know. So it's some of this is difficult. All right, so we're going to make symmetrical and skewed data here, I'll try and keep it short, but I'm going to go ahead and make a number line and make it ticks across here. Okay. And if I want this to be symmetrical, I would say something like this, So we have a line of symmetry. This side is the same as this. Over here, I'm going to make one that's skewed left here a little bit. Skewed left means that there's more data to the right, isn't there? And you'll notice that I can use dots, right? See how it's skewed left? Because there's more data to the right. All right, so what measure of center would you use? Well, when it's symmetrical data, we want to use the mean. Remember that. If it's symmetrical, we want to use the mean. And if you use the mean, your variability, okay, you're going to want to use the MAD, the mean absolute deviation, to describe the variability. So these two are connected, okay? Very important that you understand that. If the data is skewed left or right, we want to use the median. And to describe the variability, we want to use the IQR. Those are linked. All right. Median, because if we use the mean here, it's going to be way high. And then if you use the median, you have to use the interquartile range, all right, because that will get you close to the median, all right? All right, so what kind of graphs would you use here for this? On this, when you're using the mean, the MAD, to me, I would use a histogram, right? Excuse me, and I hope you can see that. Yeah, you can. Let me pull that up just a little bit. And we could use a dot plot, right, just as we did. That was nice that we could see that. All right, over here. Now, if you're using the IQR, you're going to have to use a box plot. And that's where that's linked. All right, so that is certainly linked to that. And sometimes that's called a box and whisker plot. Okay, so you can see how these kind of go together. If it's symmetrical, mean, MAD, histogram, or dot plot, all good. If it's skewed left or skewed right, okay, we want to use the median. We want to use the IQR to describe the variability, and we want to use a box and whisker or a box plot for the graphing. All right? All right, let's go ahead and continue to the next page. Here we go. So we're going to practice. 2 studies, let me pull that down, were conducted at different banks. The summary measures how long a customer had to wait. So at the state bank, the mean was 8, and and it had a MAD, a deviation of 6, right? So that means, right, the wait time was either 2 minutes or 14 minutes, if you think of it that way. At the national bank, right, the mean was also 8, but it had a mean absolute deviation of 1. So you could have waited 7 minutes, or you could have waited what? 9 minutes. So that's what it's saying here. So if you think about this, at which bank would you rather stand in line? Well, at the national bank, right? So at the national bank, you would wait, national bank, you would wait 7 to 9 minutes because the MAD, the deviation, the variability is from 7 to 9. Right? At the state bank, right, you would wait what? Well, I told you that. 8 minus 6 is 2 minutes. 2. 8 and 6 is 14 minutes. And let me put minutes up there. Okay. All right, let's continue on down to number 2. Citibank, a new bank in town opens up, and they are advertising to have quick lines to satisfy the busy customers. The data is shown below to compare City and National Bank. Draw two different dot plots. One for what? The number of minutes of National and the number of minutes for City. So let's do this. Number of minutes. And this is also number of minutes, right? And we're going to call this National. And this will be City. All right. So, the smallest number I see up here is, looks like a 3, and the biggest number is a 10. So let's go ahead and do it that way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's write our numbers under there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So all I did was just kind of get organized there so that we were in good shape there, right? Okay. Now I'm just going to go ahead and organize. I don't have any 3s, and I don't have any 4s, but I do have a 5 here. So I'm going to put a dot there, cross it off. Do I have a 6? No 6s, but I do have a 7. I have 1 7. Cross it off. And then look at your 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got a couple 9s and a 10, right? So look at that spread of the data. It's pretty close, isn't it? The MAD is going to be pretty tight to that one. But let's look over here. I have a couple 3s, don't I? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4 5s. I have a 7, an 8, a 9, and a 10. Okay? So there's our dot plots. One for National, one for City. All right, so it says calculate the mean number of minutes in line. All right, so we're going to add them up and divide by the total number in the set. Okay, I'm going to grab my calculator here. So I have a 5 plus 7 plus 8 times 5 is 40, plus 40 plus 18 plus 10. And that sum is 80. All right. So for the National Bank, it says calculate the mean number of lines. Does the Citibank live up to their advertisement? Well, for the National Bank, we have 80 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it is 8 minutes, right? And let's see if the Citibank this is National, right? And now we're going to go City, right? So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to add them up. So 3 and 3 is 6 plus the 5s, that's 20. 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. That sum, when I add it up, is 60. Divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 as well. And then I end up with 6 minutes. So does the Citibank advertisement? Yes, it does. They're at 6 minutes. They're at an average of 8 minutes. All right. And if you wanted to wait, all right, in line at a consistent pace, which bank would you use and go to and why? Well, this is where, where we would have to find the mean absolute deviation, right? Or the MAD, right? So we have to kind of get set up here and go from there. So the National Bank is more consistent, all right, to me, right? It's an 8 minute because it's a tighter cluster. But this has a smaller mean, all right? So the mean absolute deviation here, right, is 8/10. So and you can see how clustered that is. So, it's going to be a more consistent weight. So where would I go? I would probably go to the National Bank. All right, guys. Appreciate it.